Product launch formula. Success stories.
She had to change her plans and create a new business model on the fly. Janna Morishima had just started her brand new business as a literary agent in January of 2020. In March, she was seriously considering getting a new job when she suddenly remembered learning about Jeff and PLF. She went all in and grew a small list of 150 people, and when she made her first offer, she had 27 sign up, netting almost $24,000 for her very first launch.
Shattering the glass ceiling with a $1 million launch. When Lorraine Dallmeier returned from maternity leave, she found herself mommy-tracked. So after her first PLF launch for her side hustle skincare company made £35,000, she quit her day job. Business has grown exponentially since then, and Lorraine now has a team of 31. They had their first $1 million launch in May, right in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic.
40 cancelled speaking engagements led him to launch. Elliot Connie is a psychotherapist who teaches other psychotherapists how to do solution-focused brief therapy, SFBT. Over the years, he's built a sizable practice and traveled the country as an expert speaker. He started launching back in 2016, but it all came together in March of 2020 after the pandemic led to a string of speaking cancellations. So he went all in and generated more than $50,000.
6 figures from helping women learn to love staying sober. Kate B. was working 2 jobs and anonymously blogging about her journey to sobriety when she suddenly decided to apply for a business grant. When she got the grant, she decided to share her journey and wound up doing a small, accidental, seed launch. Then she discovered PLF and things snowballed. In 2016 she had 160 sign up for her sober school. In 2017 it was almost 600. And she just had her first 6-figure launch.
From in debt to adoption using launches, Amanda and Jonathan Teixeira managed to save enough to pay off $24,500 in debt in less than 8 months. After that happened, they had people begging to learn how they did it. But life kept getting in the way, until Jonathan was suddenly laid off, and it was time to find another way to put food on the table. Their first launch brought in $6,000, and things kept getting better from there. More recently, one of their next launches made enough to pay for the high cost of adopting a child.
Foster Dad's discovery has helped thousands of families. Jeff Noble teaches people about fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, FASD, which are the leading cause of developmental disabilities. Even though he's not a doctor or therapist, he's used launches to turn his passion into a global mission, and now travels the world to teach people how to cope with this misunderstood health condition.
From hobby to 6-figure business. In 1 year, Anne LaFollette was close to retiring from her longtime corporate job, and then she was laid off. She signed up for PLF, turned her pattern-making hobby into a business, and is about to cross the 6-figure line just a year after her first launch.
She made back her investment, and more, in 4 days when 2020 lockdowns forced Nicola Brown to cancel her in-person workshops on eco-friendly textiles. She started teaching online. But spending weeks on the road taking care of her relatives presented challenges. The 2021 launch masterclass showed her that she could leverage her existing content to create a thriving business, while working less. Nicola took a chance on PLF and did a quick launch, a type of launch covered in a PLF bonus. She made her investment back in just 4 days and went on to make $88,000 within the first 3 months of joining.
Her paintings sell for $12,000 each, and her courses are always full. Mary Gilkerson is a painter who decided to take her experience teaching college-level art and use it to create an online course. Before PLF, she brought in a pretty respectable $12,000, but after PLF, her launch brought in $54,000. Now Mary's online art courses are consistently full, and she's selling more of her own work than ever before. And she's using PLF to sell her paintings for up to $12,000 each.
Working like horses? Not anymore. Joe and Derek Clark teach people to train and ride horses. They love their work, but running their school meant they rarely got a break. After a car accident changed everything, they turned to PLF to be able to maintain their livelihood, and it's worked better than anticipated. Learning to launch PLF style has given Derek the freedom and flexibility to work when he's able to without overextending himself. Not to mention that the couple is more excited about sharing their knowledge with a wider audience. Before, they were training one-to-one. The wider audience seems to agree. 36 hours into their first launch, Derek and Joe's course sold out.
Teacher launches while 7 months pregnant, $300,000 in 4 months. Busy mom of 4 Casey Morris planned her first launch while she was 7 months pregnant. She met her launch goal of $25,000 in just a few hours, and her first 2 launches brought in more than $300,000 in less than 4 months. Casey's Market? Showing teachers how to sell their lesson plans online.
Starving artist? More like 7-figure. Artist Nicholas is a fine art artist who has led offline workshops to teach people how to paint. Then he used PLF to bring his workshop online. He started from scratch, and his first launch did over $400,000 in sales. And he followed that up with another launch that made around the same.
Seed launching his way out of £50,000 in debt. In 2020. Dylan Iolu has trained yoga teachers and run personal transformation programs for the last decade and found PLF right after the pandemic lockdown started. His in-person business model took a big hit, so he embraced online business in a big way. And it's really paid off, helping him not only create new offers and bring in more revenue, but also have people writing in asking for personal coaching.
$11,500 for a product that didn't exist, yet Kat and Jason O'Neill are in the cannabis industry. Their first seed launch brought in $11,500, and that was technically before their course even existed, which means they got paid to create the course. Now after doing their seed launch, they know so much more about their audience, and they've got ideas for a bunch of cool new products.
$36,000 from teaching people how to start a shed building business. John Feely already had a successful business building sheds for people. He realized his system might be super valuable for other would-be shed builders, so he decided to launch. In March of 2020, he made his first offer to his tiny list and got 22 people to sign up. Now he's got 2 successful businesses, and his students are starting their own, too.
From scrappy seed launches to a full-blown business, Dorothy Holterman went through some tough times, losing her livelihood and home while her health fell apart. In her 50s, she turned everything around and wrote a book which got some attention, but not enough to pay the bills. Dorothy discovered PLF and decided to use it to promote her Birth a Book program. She did her launches using just her phone and social media, and wound up creating an amazing, multifaceted business.
After an accident, he more than replaced his income. Barry was a very successful entertainer. Then he had a mountain biking accident that left him unable to perform, and his business and income were dead in the water. Then he found PLF, and it changed everything in his business.
Her Story a Day challenge transformed her writing and her life. Back in 2010, Julie Duffy was stuck at home with the kids, leaving her with very little time to get her writing done. On a whim, she created a 30-day Story a Day challenge, and 100 people joined her on her journey. The more she ran her challenge, the more it grew, until she realized she had to let it go or turn it into a serious business. She just did a 5-figure launch this spring, and it's only going to grow from there.
Teaching the next generation of coders. For a projected $3 million, taking a cue from his own children's interest, Merrick Brell started teaching kids how to code. During the 2020 shutdowns, he turned to product launch formula and quickly knocked out back-to-back launches for online coding camps. Within a month, Merrick's business brought in $200,000, and his list continues to grow exponentially.
Introvert? Influencer? Both. Music therapist Deborah Spiegel has been teaching workshops since 2011, but in her own words, she was flying by the seat of her pants trying to build her business. A self-described introvert who wasn't comfortable going live on camera, Deborah got creative with her launch videos by using plenty of images and editing her takes until she was comfortable with the outcome. The result? Every time she launches, 1,000 additional music therapists find Deborah and join her email list. And she gets to flex her creative muscles on her own time.
A modern-day knight slays the online business world. Canadian Devin Borman teaches the European martial art of duello. The launch masterclass inspired him to join Product Launch Formula, and within a few weeks he and his business partner started designing an online version of Devin's in-person workshops. Launches now make up about a third of his revenue, allowing Devin to travel and share his passion all over the world.
How to make it in Hollywood. Carol Kirshner is an established authority in her niche, teaching writers to pitch a TV show that sells. But she didn't know how to take that specialized knowledge online and monetize it. After 2 different people told her product launch formula would change her life, Carol took the leap and dove into the program step by step. Her first course sold out in 48 hours, leaving 80 people on the waiting list. Meanwhile, Carol's passive income keeps rolling in like film credits.
Former technophobe turned serial launcher, making tens of thousands. Cammie McBride started from scratch. A few years ago she didn't even have a cell phone, and she's now done 4 PLF launches in the last year, and 3 of them have done more than $10,000 in sales.
Recession-proofing a soul-led business. Faye Semple teaches courses in dowsing and energy alchemy to help her clients answer life's questions. She was comfortable working with students in person but didn't know how to grow her business online. After seeing the launch masterclass, Faye followed her inner guidance and bought PLF. Less than a month later, her first launch brought in £4,000 British pounds in sales. Another 5 months later, she'd launched 2 more times and added £27,000 to her earnings.
From "Will this work?" to "Just like magic," real estate investor Corey Sporl lost his job in late 2019. Then the 2020 shutdowns happened, and before he knew it he was out of work for several months. Then Corey found out a friend of his had incredible success with something called Product Launch Formula. So he watched the launch masterclass, bought PLF, and dove in. First, Corey pushed through his Zoom shyness and did a webinar that resulted in 10 sales. Then he made over $66,000 Canadian dollars in a single seed launch.
I don't worry about money anymore. Heidi Villegas got into herbalism 20 years ago, but didn't start creating online courses until much more recently. She was terrified of launching and selling her natural remedies and recipes, until she found Product Launch Formula. Since then, Heidi's launches have made close to $200,000, and her membership brings in sustainable recurring income. Pretty good for a grandmother and former school teacher with zero tech experience.
From individual launches to sustainable and creative business model, artist and educator Diane Bleck found an unexpected niche during the 2020 shutdowns, teaching her clients how to creatively transition their businesses to a virtual environment. PLF gave her a business model she could count on, and she's used it to launch offers in 3 different businesses, and develop solid affiliate partnerships along the way. And it all happens while giving Diane the time to be the kind of mom she wants to be.
10xing her business. The Scrappy Way. Having found a systematic way to overcome food addiction and obesity, Irina Lee is on a mission to help as many women as possible do the same. Working one-on-one just wasn't going to cut it, so she was thrilled to discover PLF as a system to grow her business. Within 6 years, following the formula, and forgetting perfectionism, took Irina from $5,000 earned from her first launch, to $500,000 last year.